or welcome back. My name is Martha. This is My Moxie Life, and I am so glad you're joining me. I'm a flight attendant, and I work for a major airline, and I have been off work since September, and I am getting ready to go back to work. So I have been hearing that there are some airlines that are hiring. And I didn't know this, but I thought I would post a refresher course on how to interview and some things you might need to know when you're going for an airline job, especially for in-flight or flight attendant. So here's some things I want to tell you. I have 5 main things that I thought of that would be like a great place to start. So if you're interested in that, hang out, stick around, and we'll go over it right now. All right, you guys, 5 things that I think are important for you to know if you would like to apply or are interviewing, getting ready to interview to be a flight attendant or in-flight. And I will be looking at my phone because I have my list on there, so sorry. So my first one that I think is quite important, and I will tell you why, it is research. Whatever company that you are applying for, that you want to work for, definitely research the company, get to know a lot about the company, get to know their history, when they started, who their current CEO is, where their base is, where their headquarters is, get to know their mission statement, their culture, go over their website and find out as much as you can about what they believe in as an airline. And you can tell a lot from the way they advertise, what their values are. And I will tell you, I'm almost 100% sure that is why I did not get the job with the first airline that I did an official interview with. I did the video interview and I got invited to a face-to-face. And the face-to-face was, this was Alaska Airlines when they had acquired Virgin and they were trying to fill those aircraft they had acquired. So anyway, I did not do my research enough. I did some, but I didn't know that their airline is very, they pretty much just give passengers whatever they want, and which is not necessarily a bad thing, but I just didn't know. And so when I was asked a question about, it was kind of like a put yourself in this scenario question, I definitely came across as kind of a jerk, and that I would be like, no, you can't have it, but yes, you can because of certain circumstances. And it did not go over well. Honestly, like, if you ever have been in an interview where you know that moment that they went, no, yeah, that was the moment. And the really awful part for me personally was that it was in a group setting. So we were doing like we were all in a semicircle, and they went down the line and asked each one of us like to put ourselves in these scenarios. And you could have heard a pin drop after I gave my answer. I was like, nope, that was the wrong answer. So anyway, I did realize at that moment when they told me, no thank you, that how badly I wanted the job. And so it did not shut me down, but it spurred me on to want to interview with other airlines. And then 2 days later is when I interviewed with SkyWest and got hired there. So, I mean, I didn't get hired that day, but I did go and interview again right away. So anyway, so that's number 1. Do your research, know the airline, know what you're talking about when you go to these interviews. All right, number 2, dress for the job. So a lot of airlines will have a video interview, and I don't think that anyone cares anymore if you look like a flight attendant, the quintessential flight attendant, hair pulled back, red lips, and a scarf. I don't think anybody cares about that anymore, but I do think on the video interviews, they want to really see you and hear you. So I definitely think clean and crisp is the way to go on the video interviews. And then depending on the airline, zhuzh it up for if you get a face-to-face interview. Like with my current airline, I wore What did I wear? Oh, what did I wear? I feel like I wore polka dots, but now I'm totally blanking. I don't even remember. I don't know. I think I wore polka dots, but I don't even own polka dots. I wore some colorful something. I wore something fun. And yeah, so definitely that's another part of research. Find out what their culture is. So I would say probably a face-to-face interview with Delta clothing wise would be different than a face-to-face interview with, say, Southwest interview wise. So, but dress the part and also give it your own personal flair. They want to see you, they want to know you. So that's my second tip. Tip number 3. If you go online on, I think the main place you can find these is Glassdoor. If you research flight attendant interview questions, you can usually find somebody who has posted general questions that they may or may not have gotten. Obviously you're not supposed to share what you've been asked, but there are usually a lot of good examples. Practice on camera. Definitely set up your phone and practice the questions on camera. Record yourself, how you want to talk. Write down the words you want to say. Practice the questions. And then when it comes time and the actual questions are asked, you won't feel like you're fumbling around for things to say, but you will already kind of have those things going through your mind. So definitely practice. And also, if it makes you feel better, practice in front of someone. Definitely before you go to your face-to-face, you should do that. Absolutely. All right. Number 4. All right, so this one's kind of a weird one, but I think it's really important, especially if you're filling out an application and also on the video interview, is to use keywords. So if you look up keywords for airlines, you're gonna find things like safety, customer service, I'm blanking on anything. But if you look that up, keywords that they want to hear, or that if it's a computer listening or checking over your application, they're going to be looking for those words. If you have experience or if you put the word handle emergencies, that's gonna pop up okay, there's something that will apply to this job and we may want to look into this person a little bit more. So look up and use keywords, especially in your written application and your video interview. Probably good to use in your face-to-face interview as well. The things they want to hear are definitely about, safety and customer service. Those are your 2 main things. And then just build on those, use other things that kind of wrap around that. All right, so that's number 4. All right, we are on our last one, number 5. All right, so this is more of a practical thing. So even if you're gonna travel, you wanna do this. If you don't have a passport, I suggest you get that application in as soon as possible. If you are worried that your passport might expire by the time you get to training or you get through training, you want to make sure that doesn't happen. Case in point, I did have a classmate who was waiting for a lost they had lost their passport, and then they tried to get it replaced. And by the time we were almost done with training, he still didn't have it. And he was unable to complete training because he didn't have his passport, and you can't work without it. So I suggest that's a main thing you want to think about. Make sure you have your passport up to date, or get one if you haven't gotten one yet. So those are my 5 tips if you are planning to apply or you're getting ready to interview. And if you have other questions about things that might be helpful, please let me know. I have interviewed quite a few times now and been hired twice, so that's good. So I would love to help if you are looking for a little bit of input on becoming a flight attendant. So thanks for watching today, and as usual, please subscribe. If you feel like someone else could benefit from this video, give it a share, and thanks. I'll see you next time. Have a great day.